About to do right now. If the step was already out, it just wasn't, so I've been stepping on the frame. But you can have the step out until the point that you go to close the clamshells, if it's helpful. Anyway, so to close the door,
oh, lightning.
You unvelcro this one, and it just folds down. Same over here. This one is included in the front flap. All right, so then the next thing is splitting the doors. Let that dude off. Normally, if you just go opposite directions here, and then just a little bit of brutality, not really kidding, but a little bit of a jerk there, and that whole thing comes apart. And then the lower part of the door folds in and in, and that gives you room to close it. And again, because of the air conditioner, you got to kind of do one more step in closing than what Trail Manor tells you. But you can latch the big door over here for a second or whatever, just so it's out of your way. Fold this guy in before you forget, just like that. Now,
I'm going to go on the back side.
You guys aren't going to have a view for a second because Wendy's going to help me start to bring the top down, but stay there for a second, Wendy.
Okay.
Let me get up here and show you. This is the one part that's not Trail Manor, and it's because of this aftermarket AC.
But it's worth it.
But, you know, it's not that big of a work around. It doesn't take an incredible amount of force. It's just a matter of, this is why I leave this top still locked on the block so it doesn't try to slide. What's going to happen is Wendy is going to push on the backside like normal to fold it this way. I'm going to put just a little bit of pressure here in the middle, but only until this boot is about here on the air conditioner. After that, it'll just come on down like it's supposed to.
Okay.
Plus, you'll run out of room as far as getting out of the camper. So Wendy will do that, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, ready?
Okay, I think I can do both at the same time. Ready?
Maybe. Okay, so I'm just going to pull down slightly, stop there. I'm just going to put my thumbs on the AC shroud, a little bit of pressure on the boot. Once the boot clears the air conditioner, I mean, that's literally it right there.
And I'm barely having to push, too.
Now, that gives me enough room to slide out the door, and then everything else is just normal Trail Manor close up. All right. So as Wendy pushes down, just like when you open, you want to make sure the doors don't flex and get in a bind. You know, it needs to clear on the inside. So I hold this wall and this stirrup while Wendy pushes.
Okay, ready?
Start to go down, yep. Okay. So if Wendy pushes right in the middle, that makes it pretty even. Okay, come here, Wendy. Stop
Yeah.
for a second. I'm freeze framing this to show you guys. Normally you wouldn't have to do this. I'm holding this wall and this flap out while Wendy's pushing down. And from this point forward, probably I can just do the whole thing myself, but it just goes down more even if the other person helps with the pressure. You're going to get down about this far, and it's going to kind of wiggle on the torsion bars. That's normal because those springs are decompressing. You're at the last step for this side, though, which is Wendy's going to do the same thing I'm doing. You're going to go get on a stirrup, and together you're going to go down and get those clasps to hit, but it's a little easier on the whole assembly if you are on the same side doing it together.
I gotta hurry, it's getting ready to dump buckets on us. Okay, ready?
Stink butt.
And what I did when I pushed down, it basically got in that little clasp.
And it jumped in, so you're good.
Yeah, it jumped in on its own. Let me focus.
You can go ahead now, right here.
That little bar has to be in that little clasp thing. Okay.
So then you put your highway clamps on just obviously the side you just did.
Show those little clamps, because I struggled with that. You got to put the little notch thing up first.
You have to open it first. They are at their, when you do this, they're at the most open they're going to be.
So leave that little bottom thing down.
Sometimes it doesn't quite grab, but that's because you want tension on there, so which is why I have them set where they're set. So you just pull down on the top. You got to find the sweet spot. It's sometimes you pull down the top a little bit, depending on how it's leveled. If it isn't going to go on, you do one little half a turn that way.
Normally I have both hands and I can pull it down while you're doing this.
That's fine. One more little turn. You can tell, you just want to have some tension on it when you go to close it. So that time I did have to adjust her out too. And then she'll slap together. It should slap together with a little tension. And then put the cotter in so it can't jump out.
Okay.
And then the back side, sometimes, where did the crank go?
I put on the front side, on the ground. Hey, Brooke. Brooke.
So you don't have to necessarily pull the levels at this point, pull the jacks, but we've already had some rain today. This is just a tip. I'm bringing the jacks up anyway because I'm going to try to get it in the backyard before it pours. But we've already had some rain today, so there's water up here. And you probably already figure out what I'm going to say, but I'm letting the back jacks up real quick before we close the top so I can jack it up and let some of this drain off real quick before we bring the top down. It's not going to cause like catastrophic damage if you don't do that. But, you know, if you were changing the sights and you're going to set up again in 3 hours, you don't want all this water running forward onto your other, you know, area.
We're gonna go for a walk.
No, you're not. It's lightning.
Alright, so I'm gonna go up slightly. That's going to help us close the top anyway, nice and easy. Let gravity help us. Not that this side closes hard, because honestly, with the weight of the AC, the real kicker is just, I shouldn't say kicker, but the biggest thing is you hold on to it as you let it down. So everything's loose. The front blocks are off. That one is, this one needs to be. We're going to close the top door.
Okay, he's closing the top door, he said.
And I've got a new latch coming. Where are you?
I'm over here.
Okay, so you missed it. I just went around and closed the top door so it's not sticking out as we go down.
It's still sticking out.
Well, we got a new latch coming forward. That's that storage latch I talked about, the barn thing.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so we're going to let it down nice and easy.
He's just pushing, but you can help it. Hey, you're going to the right. Come back to the... Okay. I'll just back off and let him do it, because it basically comes down on its own. He pushed it from the middle.
And then, come here, Wendy. These are the latches that you need to kind of help. Okay, hang on. The bar's down, you flip the lever. Same on the other side.
The latch actually came in the mail today, so
Okay.
we'll get that on there.
Same thing here. Hold this one open, help it down, make sure it closes.
Make sure I have little bars in there.
And then put the highway latches on the front.
Okay. And then put these guys on.
Highway latches, I don't know what I said, bars, I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, I said make sure the bars in the...
Oh, that, yeah, maybe I just mixed
Yeah.
my words up in my brain.
Yeah.
I don't think those cotter pins can come off, but I always like to put them all the way on. That one, I mean, you can kind of feel, I like that with a little bit, I like to have some preload, some tension on them, so I'm going to crank that one in one turn. There we go.
All right.
And then it's just the front jacks and hitch up. So
You got it.
yeah, I think that's everything.
Okay.